welcome to my world. Live like Viv. The other day, my friend Fidesz Crooker came to visit me, and she saw this giant ice cream cone, and she said to me, "How can you concentrate in your kitchen? All I'd want to do is eat chocolate ice cream all day long." Well, chocolate ice cream is really not my thing, but I thought, I'd like to make something that's as dark and brown and chocolatey and rich as this almost plastic looking, because it is, ice cream cone. And it occurred to me, let's make chocolate pudding. Come on, let's try it out. Now, my mother used to make me chocolate pudding, but she'd make it from a mix. And it's just like pancake mix. Like, you're going to add milk and some other things. Why not just do it from scratch? And you'll see how easy this is. So we're going to start with, take out a sieve, because we're going to use cornstarch. Cornstarch is a secret ingredient. I know corn is a little bit maligned, but boy, it's a beautiful plant in my garden, and it tastes good and it does so many great things. I even use cornstarch in creme anglaise, because I've tried and tried to make it. My eggs always scramble, because as you can see, I'm not the most patient of cooks. And cornstarch just smooths it out, and it's going to do the same thing for our chocolate pudding. So we're going to start with 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. You don't have to be too exact. This is fun cooking. And now we have to find our cocoa, which is the brown lusciousness. So we're going to use 2/3 of a cup. Now, we are using a measuring spoon, but we're only going to use one because everything we do will be around the thirds. So we have 2/3 cup cocoa. I'm going to start sifting it. In the meantime, this is not a very, very sweet pudding. It's mostly about the chocolate. So we're going to use 1/3 of a cup of sugar. Now, you don't have to sift the sugar. That you can just put in. So this is about the most tedious part of the whole thing, but I think we've got it. It's all measured out. So now we're going to put in milk. I'm using 2% milk because that's what I have around the house, but you can experiment if you always have whole milk or skim milk or whatever. And we're going to measure it out using a cup, because I found that my cups are actually a cup. So we're going to use 2 cups of milk. And then when I made it, I felt it needed just a little bit more of a fat oomph. Like, this is a very lean, that's the taste of it. It's lean chocolate. Like, the chocolate comes out. Fats tend to be a taste modifier. Even though it silks on your throat, it also tends to flatten the flavor. But we're going to use 1/2 cup of 18% cream. And we're going to put it on the stove and start with a whisk so that we get rid of the cocoa elements. And as it heats, we're going to switch to the spatula. Because remember that skin that would form on the top of your mother's chocolate pudding? Actually, as this cooks, the skin forms on the bottom, so you want to keep it from forming. So you're going to stir it with this. We'll go to the stove just so you see what it looks like on the stove. So you're going to mix it. This is a little high, medium flame. And it actually takes less than 5 minutes. You'll see that it starts to boil and just kind of simmer and thicken. You take it off the heat. You add, again, we use that same measuring spoon. We're going to use 1/3 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips. Melt them in. And now we have your secret potent ingredient. So every year I make several bottles of vodka cherries. They started out as brandy cherries, but since I always have vodka around the house, they've become vodka cherries. So what you do is you wash cherries, you pack them in the jar. You'll see these, like, very small cherries. These are actually from my roof garden. I grew them myself. They're Saskatchewan Prairie Garden cherries. And they're Romeo and Juliet. I don't know who was who in this jar. But anyway, so you pack sugar on top of your cherries. You put a little vodka in it. You seal it. When the sugar has sort of melted, then you put vodka up to the top of the jar and keep it for several months, several years. It keeps on getting better and better and better. And so I added 2 tablespoons. Now, if you want to have the boozy effect, put it in at the end. If not, put the alcohol in while you're cooking the chocolate pudding, and that will burn off the alcohol. And then one of my favorite ingredients, which I can't seem to get open. Okay, let's pretend we've opened this delicious jar of this is vanilla. I never use extract. I got these beans in Tonga, an island called Vakaitu, and I ground the beans in my blender with alcohol from the liquor store, and I've used it for years and years and years. So we're going to add 2 teaspoons of this. Imagine it, because I can't get it open. Anyway, now your chocolate pudding is complete. It's thick, it's glossy, it's delicious. And let's go try some I made yesterday. Yesterday I thought it would be fun to put it in like little preserving jars, glass preserving jars. Since I'm making this for Valentine's Day, once it's cooled, the pudding has cooled a little bit, I'm going to put them in these beautiful little Capo di Monte teacups. I might use some of these French yogurt containers as well. But to taste it, we're going to go with these. And we're going to put some whipped cream on it. You can serve it without it, but this makes it extra yummy. For you, those who don't know how to make whipped cream, you take heavy cream, or in Canada it's called whipping cream. Very cold, whip it up. You can do it without sugar if you want, or add a very minimal amount of sugar, because what you use the cream to do is kind of cut the sweetness. So if it's too sweet, they just play off each other too much. So just a little bit of whipped cream. And now we're going to dig into our stash of vodka cherries. Got one with the stem. Isn't that gorgeous? And you know, keep these in supplies, because you can take a bowl of these and pass them around after dinner. Everybody can have a little cordial. And I think we might just be ready to try our chocolate pudding. Happy Valentine's Day.